Hello, good morning students. Today we are going to discuss the topic types of users in database management system under the subject database management system. Okay, so there are as in previous video we have discussed about the definition part of database management system. We got good understanding what is data, what is databases, and finally what is database management system and all the how it is useful over the traditional file system, what are the advantages of file system in those days, and what are the advantages of database management system over the file traditional file management system, and what are the different application areas of database management system. Today we are going to discuss the different users who are going to deal with the database management system. So as we know that there are different users who are directly indirectly involved with the database management system, the persons who are involved in designing of the database management system, the persons who are involved in using that design database management system, and the finally we need a proper maintenance of that database management system. So what is written in this slide? People who deal with databases. Many persons are involved in the design, use, and maintenance of any databases. There are these persons can be classified in two types. So the persons who are in front and the persons who are working behind the scene. So firstly we discuss the actors on the scene, the people whose job involves the day-to-day use of a database. Day-to-day use of a database are called actors on the scene. Okay, so the person who are in front, who are using the database on the daily basis, those persons are we can say the actors on the scene. So we need to know who are they. So basically first one is the DBA. What is the full form of DBA? This DBA is the database administrator. This is the main person who are centrally control all the database system. So database administrator. The DBA is responsible for authorizing access to the database. Means the persons who are going to use database management system, they are proper authenticated and authorized by the database administrator for coordinating and monitoring its use and acquiring software and hardware resources as needed. Okay, these are the people who maintain and decide the database daily. The DBA is responsible for following issues. So first issue we can say design of the conceptual and physical schema. Design of the conceptual and physical schema. This is the main responsibility of database administrator. The DBA is responsible for interacting with the users of the system to understand what data is to be stored in the database management system and how it is likely to be used. Okay, the DBA creates the original schema by writing a set of definitions and is permanently stored in the data dictionary. Means the overall structure of a database which is going to be stored in hard disk, it is designed by the database administrator. Now second, security and authorization. The responsibility of database administrator is the security of whole database and the authorization. The DBA is responsible for ensuring the unauthorized data access in is not permitted. It should be taken care by the database administrator. Okay, so in continuation, the granting of different types of authorization allows the DBA to regulate which part of database various users can access. Means we can say that there can be a different parts of database which is very crucial, not crucial. So which part is seen to which user, it is taken care by the database administrator. Now, the storage structure and access method definition. The DBA creates appropriate storage structure and access method by writing a set of definitions which are translated by the DDL compiler. Now, next issue, data availability and recovery from failure. Whenever failures occur, DBA plays the major role. DBA must take a step to ensure that if the system fails, user can continue to access as much of the uncorrupted data as possible. So this is the main responsibility of DBA. To get the data recovered. The DBA allow work to store the data to consistent state, and it is also responsibility of DBA that whole database should be in consistent state. Database tuning. Database tuning, DBA is responsible for modifying the database to ensure adequate performance as requirement change. Whenever requirement change with the time, it's the responsibility of DBA to tune with that updations or requirements which are coming in the future. Integrity constraint specification. The integrity constraints are kept in a special system structure that is consulted by the DBA whenever an update takes place in the system. Okay, so these are the things in which DBA or DBA involves. Next, user is database designer. Database designers are responsible for identifying the data to be stored in the databases and for choosing appropriate structure to represent and store the data. So, all the designing part of the database management system, it is taken care by the database designers. Okay. Now, the end users. Lastly, the persons who are using the database. People who wish to store and use data in a database is known as end user. End user are the people whose job requires access to the database for querying, updating and generating reports, and the work of end users are given below. Firstly, casual end users, neo or parametric end users, sophisticated end users and standalone end users. The casual end users, these people occasionally access the database but they may need different information each time. Next one, naive or parametric end users. Their job function revolves around constantly querying and updating the database using standard types of queries and updates. Sophisticated end users, these includes engineers, scientists, business analysts and other familiarized to implement their applications to meet their complex requirement. Standalone end user. These people maintains personal database by using ready-made programs packages that provide easy to use menu based interfaces. So these are the end users, and lastly these system analyst. System analyst, these people determines the requirement of end users and develop a specification of transaction. Okay, now the application programmers or software engineers, these people can test, debug, document and maintain the specified transaction. Okay, so this is the application programmer. Now the persons who were workers behind the scene, database designers and implementers, these peoples who design and implement the database management system modules and interface as software package. So the persons who are designing and implement the database management systems are basically the persons who are working behind the scene. Tool developers are the persons who are coming under this category, and operators and maintenance personals. These are the system administrator personals who are responsible for actual running and maintenance of the hardware and software environment for the database management system. So in this video we are we have discussed about the different types of users, the persons who are working in front and the persons who are working in background, and the responsibilities of each and every kind of user. If you are having any doubt, you can ask me. Okay, thank you.